Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am back this week with some travel tips. We've been talking a lot on my Instagram this month about different travel hacks, and I thought that it would be interesting to start to chat about how you can actually build a travel fund that will allow you to see the world. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Janine Rogan. I'm a financial educator and CPA. I am also the author of the book, The Pink Tax, which is a best-selling book that came out just over 2 years ago now. So if you're interested, you can go and check that out. Now, I have done a lot of travel in my life. I've been very fortunate that I've been able to see a large portion of the world. I mean, there's still lots and lots of places that I want to check out. But I really wanted to talk about what has been successful for me when it comes to setting up and building a travel fund. So the first thing that you're actually going to want to do is to set up a goal. So figure out where you actually want to go and travel, and you're going to want to make sure that you actually cost that out. So figure out what flights are going to cost, what time of year you're going to want to be traveling at, where you're going to stay, so whether that's Airbnbs or hotels, and really try and get specific about how much it's actually going to cost you. So let's use an example of about $5,000 for a trip. That would include like flights, hotels, transportation, as well as food and any excursions that you might do. So maybe this is a week-long trip to somewhere. When I'm planning a trip, I like to leverage Pinterest and make a board so that I can pin certain excursions and places I want to visit in that city, and also pin different hotels and accommodations that might be of interest to me. And this gives me a really good understanding of just how much it's actually going to cost me. So again, we'll go with the number 5,000 for the sake of this video. And let's say our trip is going to happen a year from now. Now you can set a different date. It could be 6 months from now. It could be 2 years from now, just depending on what your timeline is like. But it is really important to set this early on so that you can absolutely get to your goal in that amount of time. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is actually set up a dedicated travel fund. Now, with the rise of digital banking, there are so much more options than there were when I first started in the personal finance community, which was like 14 or 15 years ago.
It's been 84 years.
I had like multiple savings accounts set up with ING Direct, which is now Tangerine. And you can totally do it this way, but there are so many other great tools out there that allow you to automate and work towards your goal, so you don't have to use a specific financial institution. There are lots of low fee or no fee options. So I'm gonna walk you through using Wealthsimple how we might set up another checkings account to save for this goal of $5,000 1 year from now. So you're going to want to log in to Wealthsimple and actually create another checkings account. Now, with Wealthsimple or Koho or Tangerine or EQ Bank, any of these digital banks, there are lots of other ones, they don't actually charge you fees to open additional bank accounts, which is really, really important. We want to make sure that we're not paying fees on this account. Now, the next thing we want to do is find out how much money we need to put into this account so that we're able to hit our goal in 1 year. So if we are looking at that goal of about $5,000, there's a couple different ways you could do this. You could divide this by 12 and contribute this amount on a monthly basis. I actually like to align them closer with my paydays. So back when I was in the corporate world, I was paid on the 15th and the 30th of each month. So I might go ahead and set up an automatic transfer on the 16th and the 1st of each month. Now, if you're doing this and you're going to make 24 contributions in a year, you're gonna want to automate about $208. We can maybe round up to $209 just so we have a little bit extra on a bi-monthly basis. Now, you also have the option of doing a bi-weekly basis, which is actually just 26 payments in the year, so you'll have 2 extra ones. And in that case, you're going to want to set up an automatic transfer for about $192 every 2 weeks. And so that is 52 weeks in the year divided by 2 is that 26 payments throughout the year. Now, it's important to note that you might not actually ever have $5,000 in that account because you might start booking things, and that is exactly what this account is for. When you go ahead and book those flights, maybe they're $1,000, you're gonna go ahead and withdraw that money out of your travel fund and put it towards your credit card to pay for that expense. So once you've gone ahead and set this up, you can set it and forget it and know that in 12 months you will have enough for you to travel over to the country that you're going to visit or the city, and you'll have the ability to spend guilt-free in that city because everything will be saved for prior to you actually taking off. Now, if you want a little bit of extra spending money or you want to achieve your goals faster, there are a couple of different things you can do. So the first is you can actually audit your expenses. And I do really recommend this on an annual basis, maybe even every 6 months, especially when it comes to subscriptions. Because the challenge is we get signed up for things and we forget to cancel them. So I do this at the beginning of every year, and what I usually find is I end up canceling about $200 worth of subscriptions that we've signed up for or are not using anymore, or we might not need them right now. We can look at them again in the future. And you can actually take that money and funnel it towards your goal of traveling. So it's really important to make sure that we're giving our dollars a job, and in canceling some of those expenses, we have the opportunity to put those towards our travel fund. Now, the other thing you might look at doing is increasing your income a little bit to save up for this trip. So you might look around your house and say, I'm hoping to get rid of a whole bunch of things, or I no longer use these things, they no longer serve me. You might be able to sell those on Facebook Marketplace, and you can actually use those funds and direct them again towards that travel fund, helping you get to your goal faster. Now, you might also be able to take on an extra shift at your job or work a couple extra hours, take on a freelance project, or set up a little bit of a side hustle, again, to earn a few extra dollars that you can put towards that travel fund. And the last thing that you want to make sure you're doing is leveraging travel rewards. I have been on so many flights that were paid for by points, and I think it's a really important reminder to be smart when it comes to how you're spending your money every single month and what tools you're using so that you can get the most rewards back when it comes to your travel goals. So I really like right now the Amex Cobalt. It has a 15,000 point signing bonus. I'll include the referral link in the comments section below, but you can go ahead and sign up and you're able to get those 15,000 points automatically. Now, I did look into this because I'm a personal finance expert and I have to know these things. How much is 15,000 points worth? And while I would say Amex points aren't the best option when it comes to redeeming the points, you want to look at credit cards where you can actually transfer those points to other rewards programs, so things like Aeroplan and things like Marriott Bonvoy. So when we look at Aeroplan, you can actually take Amex points and transfer them one for one. So 15,000 Amex points is equivalent to 15,000 Aeroplan points, which would probably get you from like Calgary to Vancouver-ish. Now, if you want to transfer them to Marriott Bonvoy, you can actually get a little bit better of a rewards rate. You can take that 15,000 points and you will actually get 18,000 Marriott Bonvoy points, which is definitely enough for at least one night in a hotel. So, to recap, it's really important to make sure that you understand how much your trip is going to be costing you and then setting that up to automatically fund it. This will reduce your financial stress, and it will ensure that you're not scraping by on the month that you actually take that trip because all of your expenses are already covered. From there, we want to make sure that we're auditing our expenses and seeing if we can give our dollars a job, especially if we're able to take on a little bit of extra work and divert that income stream to our travel fund. And then the last thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we're able to leverage credit card rewards, obviously making sure that we're paying off our credit cards every single month and being really smart about those so we can get as much travel for free as possible. So if you have any questions about how to set up a travel savings fund, let me know in the comment section below. And if not, I will see you next week. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video.